The world of sprinting has always been built on confidence. Every champion who has ever stepped onto the track believed they could outrun everyone else. But every once in a while, a young athlete arrives with a level of self-belief so powerful that it immediately captures the attention of the entire sports world. That is exactly what happened when a 17-year-old sprinter stood face-to-face with an Olympic champion and delivered a message that nobody expected. Without hesitation, without nervousness, and without trying to sound humble, he looked directly at one of the fastest men alive and said, "I'm coming for that spot." The statement instantly changed the mood in the room. For a brief moment, there was silence. Then came the laughter, the surprised reactions, and eventually the explosion across social media. Fans debated whether the teenager was incredibly brave or unbelievably bold. Some thought he was simply dreaming too big. Others saw something different, the mentality of a future champion. The teenager was Gout Gout, one of the most exciting young sprinters in the world today. Born in Australia to parents who had emigrated from South Sudan, Gout grew up in Brisbane and spent his childhood doing what many active kids do. He played different sports, enjoyed competition, and constantly looked for new challenges. Track and field was not originally the center of his life. Yet there was one thing people noticed wherever he went. He was fast. Not just fast compared to other children his age, he possessed a natural speed that immediately stood out. Coaches, teachers, and competitors all recognized it. When he ran, he seemed to glide across the ground while others struggled to keep up. As he became more involved in athletics, his talent began attracting serious attention. Every competition seemed to produce the same outcome. Gout wasn't merely winning races, he was dominating them. His acceleration was explosive, his stride was smooth, and his ability to maintain top speed made him incredibly difficult to catch. With every performance, expectations around him continued to grow. Soon, athletics fans across Australia started asking the same question. Who exactly is this young sprinter? The answer arrived in spectacular fashion during the Australian All-Schools Championships. At just 16 years old, Gout entered the 200-meter event carrying growing expectations. People knew he was talented, but few were prepared for what they were about to witness. As soon as the race began, he separated himself from the field. Every stride increased the gap between him and his competitors. By the time the athletes entered the final stretch, the outcome was no longer in doubt. The only question remaining was the time on the clock. When Gout crossed the finish line, the stadium erupted. The scoreboard displayed an astonishing 20.04 seconds. The result immediately became one of the biggest talking points in youth athletics. This was not simply another promising performance from a talented teenager. It was a historic achievement that placed Gout among the most exciting sprint prospects on the planet. Suddenly, comparisons began appearing everywhere. Analysts studied his technique. Coaches examined his mechanics. Fans replayed videos of the race repeatedly. The conversation quickly moved beyond potential. People started asking whether Australia had discovered a future global superstar. What made the performance even more remarkable was the age at which it happened. Most elite sprinters spend years developing before approaching such times. Gout was achieving them while still in his mid-teens. That combination of talent and youth transformed him from a national prospect into an international story. And his journey was only getting started. As attention around Gout Gout continued to grow, opportunities began appearing that most young athletes can only imagine. One of the biggest came when he traveled to the United States to train in an environment filled with world-class sprinters. The move represented more than just a change of location. It was a chance to learn from some of the best coaches and athletes in the sport. Among those guiding elite sprinters was renowned coach Lance Brauman, whose training groups have helped produce some of the fastest runners in the world. For a teenager, stepping into that environment could easily feel intimidating. Every day involved training alongside athletes who had already reached the highest levels of international competition. Olympic medalists, world champions, and record holders surrounded him. Yet Gout embraced the challenge. He was not interested in simply observing greatness. He wanted to become part of it. Training sessions focused on every detail that separates good sprinters from elite ones. Reaction time, acceleration, maximum velocity, Technique, strength development, recovery, and race execution all became priorities. The goal was not just improvement, the goal was excellence. Then came a moment that introduced Gout's personality to an even larger audience. During an appearance on the popular track and field podcast Beyond the Records, he found himself sitting among some of the biggest names in the sport. The atmosphere was relaxed, with athletes sharing stories, discussing races, and enjoying casual conversation. Among those present was Olympic champion Noah Lyles. As the discussion continued, Gout delivered the statement that would soon spread across the internet. Looking directly at Lyles, he confidently declared, "I'm coming for that spot." The reaction was immediate. Some of the athletes in the room laughed in surprise. Others smiled at the boldness of the comment. They understood exactly what had happened. A teenager had publicly announced his ambition to challenge the very top of the sport. Many young athletes avoid making such statements because they fear criticism. Declaring your intentions creates expectations. It invites scrutiny. It guarantees that every future performance will be analyzed. Gout accepted all of that. Rather than shrinking from pressure, he appeared energized by it. What happened next impressed many fans even more. Instead of dismissing the teenager's confidence, Noah Lyles responded positively. The Olympic champion respected the ambition and welcomed the challenge. Great athletes understand that every generation produces new contenders. Before becoming champions themselves, they were once the young competitors chasing those already at the top. Lyles recognized that hunger. Within hours, clips of the exchange were circulating online. Fans debated whether Gout could eventually fulfill his promise. Some believed his confidence was exactly what future champions need. Others argued that talent alone is never enough to guarantee success. History is filled with young stars who showed incredible potential but never reached legendary status. The path to greatness is complicated. It requires discipline, resilience, consistency, and the ability to perform under enormous pressure. Physical gifts may open the door, but mentality often determines who walks through it. That is why Gout continues to fascinate the sprinting world. His speed is extraordinary. His achievements are impressive. But perhaps his most remarkable quality is his fearless belief in himself. At an age when many athletes are still trying to prove they belong, Gout is already talking about becoming number one. Whether he eventually reaches that goal remains to be seen. The future will bring victories. The road to the top is never easy. However, one thing is already certain: the world is watching. Gout Gout is no longer an unknown teenager with exceptional speed. He has become one of the most talked about young athletes in track and field. And if his development continues at its current pace, the day may come when the bold statement that shocked everyone is remembered not as youthful confidence, but as the first warning from a future champion. A promise made long before the finish line was ever crossed.